So I wanted to play in a fantasy football league. Now I've played these in the past, I've played them online. Obviously there's the culture of going to pubs, watching your teams play, drinking beer. I'm not a big fan of beer, I'll be honest. So I did the grown up thing and bought miniature men to create my own fantasy league at home with Blood Bowl, the fantasy football league. So I am super excited to get into this one. It is yet again another miniature game. How this video works is it's going to be an intro to the game, so I'm going to go through what we get in the box, a little bit on how it plays, how it works, talk about the league I've set up with some friends, the different teams we're going to be playing, so you guys know what to expect. But the idea, the concept behind this is going to be the intro video, then we're going to have the matches, and you're going to be taken through our journey building the club, bringing in fans, maybe paying off refs, all of the stuff that goes into it, not just the games themselves. So let me know in the comments if it's something you want to see, if you've got any ideas on how to make it better or stuff you would like to see. Let me know in the comments below your favourite team. Which team would you play if you were in this league, or which are your favourite looking if you don't actually play? Drop it in the comments below. Well, I've got a list here actually, you can get the I'll try and show it up. I'll go through all the stuff in the box anyway. We'll go through some of the miniatures, start painting them up. But we'll go through the important stuff first. So I'll put that on screen. If you wanna just pause here, take a look through the different ones. My favourites so far, just looking briefly over it, are the dwarf team. Quite like stuff like the lizard men. Some of the undead ones look quite cool as well. The necromantic horror team is quite cool. So I've still got to decide who I actually want to use. I got this just because of the incredible value of this set. I got it for like £75 and you get two teams, all the dugouts, the maps, the book, extra accessories like refs and dice, everything you need to play the game. So if you're looking to get into Blood Bowl, I would say this is the perfect package, and then just buy your army afterwards like I'm going to do. I am planning on playing it with a group of friends, my girlfriend, my cousin, just a few of us to get together for a sort of football league, so I will be hopefully filming that. So I've touched on it briefly. You obviously get this. On the reverse, it's got a nice little, you can use that as like a poster, I guess, for wherever you play your league. You get the book, which has all the rules, all the teams, all the stats, everything you need to get going for the game, which is why I say this is such good value. There's literally everything in here to get you started, to get you trying the game, and then you can get more if you decide if you like it or not. An addition in this one, which I don't think you've got in Lord of the Rings, you might get a brief one for the actual characters, but cheat sheets. Now these are some of the rules, some of the more important and common stuff that come up. So it could be stuff how turnovers or weather or other things can affect the game. Fans, it's got tables to roll on. Just really helpful. This sort of thing is perfect for new players because you don't want to run through the rulebook every time you've got a question. So these cheat sheets are perfect. We've got some transfers, obviously, for the actual miniatures themselves. We've got the guide instruction sheet on how to build them. And you might be wondering just how many miniatures we get in here, but we get a ton of different sprues. We get two of the red ones, which I'm guessing are the High Imperial guys, the humans for this. And then even more of these green guys. I think it's because they've got some bigger characters. There's a few more sprues. We've got two big ones. We've got two of these. Four of these, I should say. And there are two mini red ones as well. So basically you get your team and then you get like a hero. Then obviously, like I mentioned, we've got the referees. We get two referees. We get a dwarf and an elf. I'll flash up on screen what they look like made. But we will be going through that in this video, putting them together and painting them up. We might finish the painting and the playing and the building and all that stuff in a different video, but we'll at least touch on it on this one just to get things started and give you guys an idea of how it will look. Obviously also we get some range rulers and some, I think these are for where the ball bounces or lands and stuff. Stuff like that, just useful things that you're going to need for the game. Again, something you would have to get separately, so I'm glad it came in here. Then obviously with any miniature game, a ton of bases, some dice for one side, some dice for the other side. I will say these are, again, a lot nicer dice than you get in Lord of the Rings. They are custom ones as well, so you won't be able to just use any dice. I don't think, no. Well, there's a mix. Some of them you could probably use normal dice for, some of them you can't. Then, like I mentioned before, you got score trackers and dugouts and stuff. It adds an interesting theme to the game. So I know it is only the sideboard, but you can use it to keep track of score. You can use it to keep track of characters, dice, knockouts, all of that stuff. But it also adds a very thematic accessory to the game. This video is sponsored by the Magnet Baron. He offers magnet solutions for all your miniature needs. It could be stuff like attaching characters to bases, changing different weapons, or in this case, maybe magnetizing the ball to attach to bases. There is a ton of uses for Blood Bowl. There's a ton of uses for other stuff on the channel like Star Wars, Warhammer, all of that stuff. So check him out. There will be a link in the description if you do want to help the channel out and get yourself some cool goodies as well. And then finally, I'm not going to be able to show this fully here, so we might have to go to the table and actually look at some of this setup once we're finished. But I'll do my best. You basically get it's very sturdy, so it's not going to be breaking. Oh god, that's giant. You get this side, which is obviously the more common football fantasy side, and then you've got like a little dungeon inside as well. So a few variations. Again, to get this in the game is unbelievable. You get nothing like this in Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings was arguably more expensive depending where you bought it. You do get more miniatures in that obviously, but for the price this is the perfect package. If you're looking to get into Blood Bowl, this is the package for you. And then like I said, you can pick up the extra dice or dugouts or teams, heroes, anything you want afterwards to enhance the experience. But I would say this is essential to get started. So next up, I'm going to build some of these, show you how they look built up, get it all on the table. We'll run through a turn just to look at how it plays. I wouldn't use this as a how-to video. I'll do that when I've read all the rules and got a lot more into it. This is just going to be something basic to show you through how it works, give you some idea on how the game works in a turn, what you need to do, what sort of things you need. It's really just showing off the game and what it does and if it's going to be the game for you. So first things first, for a game, you're going to set up your characters. There needs to be, or you can only have up to 2 on the wings, and you always need 4 in the middle, like set up here. It's going to be something like this. Then your opponent's going to set up. You're going to get these cool dice for each army or each list. They're going to have different symbols on depending on what you roll. You can find what they mean in the cheat sheet. This is going to be when you're trying to block characters. So there's a chance you knock them down. There's a chance you knock yourself down. There's a chance you just push them. There is some randomness to it, which I like. Let's try and do a play here, for example. So if you're going to make a throw, you're going to measure with this thing. It's going to minus depending how far you throw it. So you're going to look at your passing ability here. Roll a dice and you need higher. In this case, we've rolled a 6, so it will work. The character then needs to catch that ball, and a 5 means we catch it perfectly. When making a block, you're going to compare strength values. If you're stronger, you're going to get more dice. If they're stronger, they'll get to choose from your dice. If you're even, you're going to roll 1 and just choose a result. I do like how that works. It makes the stats more important. Around the board, you're going to have your dugouts, which are going to keep track of stuff. These can host your injured characters, which can be from blocks. It can result in casualties as well, depending what happens. Again, another random feature I really like and adds some really cool moments. On the actual dugout itself, we've got an area to keep track of the score. You've got your turn counter and you've got rerolls, which you can find the price of on the cheat sheet. So we've gone through the box that I got, we've gone through some of the rules so you guys know what to expect. If you've not played Blood Bowl before, hopefully this has been some help. But now let's get into the actual league stuff, the stuff I'll actually be bringing to you guys on the channel. I will say now, depending who's playing, there might be 1 or 2 players that don't want their voice on the video. So in those cases, I will be doing like a sports commentary over the top of it. So fingers crossed that goes okay. And the reception's all right on that, but yeah. So the first team chosen were actually the Skavens. Now these are rat people basically. Very cool looking sculpt, huge tails. They get stuff like rat ogres, so they get some really cool star players and stuff as well. I've seen a few different versions that they can choose from. So some really cool options for them. Obviously they're quite small, quite quick. So they should be really interesting to not only paint, but play against. Because so far it's just been humans and orcs, which are both quite strong. The humans are slightly more agile. But yeah, they've been good to learn the game, but I'm interested to get some of these newer races into it. So Skaven was the first choice. Then obviously, like I mentioned, we've got the Black Orcs and the humans. High Nobility, I think it is, Imperial Nobility. I'll flash it up on screen anyway so you know what I'm talking about. But those are the next 2 teams. Obviously getting them in the starter set, it was easy for someone to grab them, but they are also very cool looking teams. The Black Orcs get the Soul Chewer, I think his name is. They get the Giant Troll. So some really cool star players and big guys to make an impact. The humans, on the other hand, do get Griff, and they get an Ogre, so you can't really complain there either. Some really cool characters. It reminds me of something like Football Manager, which I used to really be into, so I am very excited to get this going. But that is just 3 of the teams. We actually have 6. And next one, I'm not going to give it all away actually, is going to be some kind of elf team. So it's either going to be the Dark Elves or the Wood-like Elves. And the final player hasn't actually, well, the final player before I reveal mine, hasn't actually chosen yet. So there will be some interesting ones, there will be a surprise. But let's get to what I want to play. Now, this was a difficult one. Initially, I thought dwarves. I always pick dwarves. I picked dwarves in Lord of the Rings. So that was my immediate thought. But there's so many cool races and fantasy classes and stuff in this. So I've been looking at lizard men. I've been looking at the horror team, which is full of like ghosts and werewolves and skeletons and the undead. Or potentially the halflings, because they do get tree people. Like Ents, which is incredible. So it's a really difficult decision. I do think I'm going to go for the horror team because I'm a huge fan of horror in general. And I like the creepy, the macabre, all of that stuff. So that's probably going to be my team. But what I want from you guys is drop in the comments below your best name for one of these teams. Now, this is going to be a long running series. So if you get a good name in the comments, we will use it for a team, absolutely. Try and fit it around the team, so fit it around the elves, fit it around the rats, all of that stuff. And we'll pick out some of the best ones to use in the actual video. So not only does that help us out, hopefully that's kind of a cool thing for you guys to have an impact in this series. Other than that, it's over to us now. We need to get our stuff painted up, we need to get a schedule drawn up and a fixtures list so we can play out the matches and bring them to you guys when we get a chance. So this is going to be the last you see of it for probably a few weeks, maybe a month. Maybe to interest some of you guys to even get into Blood Bowl. I've not long picked it up, I'm still learning. So I do want to have all the rules absolutely nailed before I start this. So yeah, that's the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's interested you in Blood Bowl because it really is a fantastic game. It is so much fun. It's such a laugh. If you're thinking it's going to be over competitive, I wouldn't worry about that. We've played a few games now and it's just been fun. We've had a ton of laughs. There's been fumbles, there's been people tripping over on the touchdown line. So many good moments. So if you're looking at getting into this, I would say check out the box I showed you in this video and then pick up the teams you want afterwards because the value is unparalleled. So that's all I've got for this video. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much for watching and I will catch you in the next one.